Good morning, David. How are you doing?
Good. You're doing good.
Good. We're here today to talk about John Logan as Askins nominee, and you have said you would like to talk through the things that he's done in his life to be nominated.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to
Okay.
ask you a series of 5 questions, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, how was the nominee? How has the nominee developed their skills over a lifetime to attain the status of a practicing a building trade at master level, skill and knowledge, and
Mm,
or built a legacy of support in the building trades?
Yeah. So now known, I go by my. It's funny. He goes by his middle name. So hearing the name John is always a little awkward. So, but we'll refer to him as John Logan. I've known John for I guess 38 years. At pretty much the time that I moved to Maryland, and at that time he worked for Howard County Parks and Recreation, and he oversaw the historic sites, and he had a crew of two other people and was actually working on the sites. A lot of it he subbed out, big projects, but the rest he was doing on his own. And he was self-promoting himself in the sense of sending himself to workshops, things like that, to learn more and more about masonry, about carpentry, about timber framing and log structures, things like that. So I was always impressed with that. And so he ended up working for me for about 10 years, and he learned some more things then through that process. But he sent himself to Goucher College, to get a preservation, degree. So he's just always been focused on it. I'd say the one trade that he's probably would be considered a master of is masonry. He does mostly masonry work. I'd say 80% of the work that he does is masonry. So I put him at the level as a master at that trade within itself, but he's learned how to restoration of windows and, just exterior restoration of different porches and components and things like that. So, but he's always been well driven and attends other workshops. He's doing things for Preservation Maryland. He's teaching courses. So that's kind of that.
Well, let's talk about how the nominee supported the continuance of the traditional building skills through their work and practice.
Yeah. So the continuance is that he works with HistoriCorps. He's done projects with HistoriCorps, so he's done training. He hasn't done anything for a couple of years. But he's working along with myself with Preservation Maryland and teaching. We're doing about 3 workshops per year now doing the masonry. So that's where he's continued on. He's on a project right now that he's doing on his own. It's a masonry project, and he's taught 2 people on the job, how to do pointing and replacing of stonework. He's also been certified for Yon systems and Lithomax, that kind of thing. So he's still continuing to teach.
Good. Um, how has the nominee been involved in advocacy of training in the preservation trades?
Um, Probably no more than what I've said. That he's, does stuff for Preservation Maryland. He and I do some things together and workshops related in Washington County on windows, stuff like that. Now as far as advocacy goes, he pretty much put, what was that, our second or third IPTW that was at Blandair, that he
Mhm.
was in charge of that. So wore him out like everyone, as you know.
Yeah, that
When
was a
you're
good
done
one.
doing a conference, you're burned out at the end. So those are about the only things I can really say as far as advocacy goes, with that.
Yeah, I think that was my second uh, PTN and IPTW, and that was actually
Hmm.
one of the best ones I've been to. So.
Yeah, it was. I always kind of thought, since they had all those outbuildings and things, that should have just, popped back there and done it there a few times. They had the perfect setup for that.
Yeah. All right. Next question. In what ways has the nominee demonstrated extraordinary effort given to advancing the awareness of traditional building skills and knowledge?
Um, I can't, to be honest, really can't add much more than what I've said, as far as his training goes with that. He's not out there lecturing at different
Yeah.
times to different communities and organizations. It's just when he gets that opportunity to do a workshop related to, masonry and windows, stuff like that. That's the only time that he's really pushing it. He hasn't written a book.
Yeah. Yeah. But kind of what you're saying is that he's been focused on the building trades as a
Right.
skill set and a craftsperson.
Right.
But
Yeah.
within that, he's trained all these people and made them aware of those skills and stuff like that.
Right. Uh-huh. He's
So
always been a hands-on.
yeah, which is why we do what we do, right?
Right. We do what we do. Yeah.
And kind of this is the final question, and it's kind of more of a kind of personal question a little bit, rather than the specific questions that are in the awards kind of
Hmm.
word is finally, as the nominee's advocate, why do you believe they deserve the 2026 Askins Award, highlighting their achievements in the context of the award's national and international importance, and
Yeah.
why they are worthy of recognition alongside previous Askins Achievement Awards winners?
Yeah. I guess, I mean, he's had some projects under his belt that were pretty significant, but it still gets back to he's passed on the trades. He's been teaching people. And that's what I always feel about the Askins Award is it's really the main focus is to have it go to people that have really carried on the trades, that are teaching people the trades, whether they get paid for it or not. They're just really dedicated to make sure the trades don't die. And Michael's always fit in that category of let me teach you, let me show you. So it just he fits the picture of a hands-on teaching the trades and carrying it on.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add, David, at all, or you're
No,
happy?
otherwise I'd just be repeating myself.
That's
But he's a good guy. I've known him well, and he lives and dies for preservation. Yeah.
well. Let's leave it at that. And it was nice to be on the call with you, and I'll
Yeah.
send this off today.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.